bigger profits in your small business? Like many of us, I'm sure you're feeling it. Business is hard, and now more than ever, you need to have a plan to help your business not just survive, but thrive. I'm Marcia Reiner. I'm a profit and business strategist on a mission. I've helped tons of small business owners to establish and implement a tangible plan that guarantees increased profitability and guides your growth. I'd like to share strategies that I've earned and learned with you on today's Profit with Plan. So my guest today is a dear friend of mine, Stephanie Hastings. She is a certified bookkeeper, financial mindset coach, licensed live producer, speaker, author, wife, and mother, and probably a dozen more things. With more than 19 years experience as various executive assistant roles within corporate America, she struck out on her own and realized her passion to make a positive ripple effect by helping individuals and small business owners to accomplish their entrepreneurial dreams. Stephanie's business and financial expertise, along with her background in hotel and restaurant management, has allowed her to humanize the numbers and relate to her audience and clients. Through her various personal trials and triumphs, Stephanie has been able to hone in her skill and gifts to grow a community of resources and affiliates. She knows how valuable it is to have a solid network that you can refer and rely on. And she's always learning and striving to do better. Wow, Stephanie, that is so important and so true. And you know what? I just love you to death. Listeners, I have to share a little bit of a hint to you. So Stephanie and I have been talking for literally a half hour before I could hit record because we had so many stories to tell each other and catch up. So I'm just so honored to have you on the show today, Stephanie. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Marcia. This is such a blessing.
Yes, absolutely. So here's the point that we're going to talk about today is something that everybody needs right now more than ever. It's getting a little help, right? Getting a little financial help. We're just coming out of the craziness of the last 2020 year and into 2021. And there's so many opportunities to kickstart and drive, but we all would love a little bit of financial help with that. So, Stephanie, you are a genius when it comes to finding grant money. Tell us about your opportunities that you have in finding grant money.
Thank you. Well, I am passionate about helping small business owners, especially women-owned businesses, to get the grants and the funding they need to not only just stay afloat, but to thrive, right? Not just take those next steps, but really grow that business, because I fully believe that when you make a female-owned business profitable and financially free, that entrepreneur takes a different track for her own family, for her generation. That financial future she can change for her community by the people she hires and inspires. And so that's why I do what I do. And I look for grants that are specific to you and your business, because there's a million grants out there, certainly, but I find and funnel all of those ones that are specific to you. Individually, you would be working very, very hard to try to find these grants, manage your business, write all the documentation, get everything done, and then submit for each of these grants. And that's why I found that in this current market and this current life that we're living, this change in our environment, it is in my best interest to do all I can to make sure that a business is viable. It is staying a business and not turning into a hobby. You need to make money. And in order to make money, you need to have money, right? You need money to make money. So you need to be able to breathe. That sigh of relief that you have something over here in savings or in your coffers to reinvest into your business, to reinvest. And the beauty of it is this, the grants or the funding. So you can choose grants, and utilized in the right way, that money is free money. You can also get loans and other capital and find investors. So I can help you with either of those different avenues. But when you are getting grant money, that money is going to be used to, you can use it to grow your business. You can use it to just stay afloat in your business and cover operational expenses, such as the rent, the utilities, your telephone expenses, or you can use it for office furnishings, for equipment that you need. You can use that to hire staffing, contractors, or W-2 employees. You can use that to build and expand on your current program. So now that it's a virtual program, because you know our way that we have communicated has shifted. So now it's a virtual environment that we're all working from. And in doing so, we need to be able to be camera ready. We need to have the appropriate equipment, be able to get on those various media sites, and maybe have some help with branding and marketing and refreshing your website, or whatever the case may be. But those are the things that really you can utilize the grant money for. And that's going to keep growing your business, right?
That's fantastic. You just gave us like 25 different places that we can take money and invest back into our business so we can grow. And I think that that's the thing that, is difficult right now. We may have lost clients over the last year. We may be trying to restructure and do things. And, normally as the entrepreneur and small business owner, we tend to pull it out of our own savings and our own, maybe our retirement, or maybe we, my income, I'm going to put my income back in to grow the business. And that's the last thing that we want you to do. And that's why this conversation is so important.
Well, yes, and let me touch on another important point. When I'm working with my clients, what I really want to see for you is that progression. Mm-hmm. So first of all, we're taking your hobby and making that a viable business, and we're building that through grants. We're getting you the funding that you need, the money you need to put into those various buckets to grow your business, whether that's operations, equipment, people that you need to hire, staffing, or whether that's marketing and branding, so forth and such, right? So that's the first layer, is to do the grants and the funds, and to get you the income that's going to help you move forward. The second piece is to make your business really viable, visible, and really so that you have a third leg to stand on. It's like you're standing on two legs, but if you have a tripod, you have more stability, right? So it's
Correct.
giving you that third leg. And that third leg is to make sure that we are now building you into business credit. So what we move you from is that personal credit, where you're drawing from your personal coffers to help feed the business. Now we're going to totally make this a viable business, making all of your personal expenses stay personal and all of your business expenses stay business. And that is where you are able to move into that next level, right? So we start with the funding, then we get you to the business credit, and then that next level. This is my favorite part. My favorite part is really helping small business owners, and especially women-owned businesses, to get federally recognized. Now, this is great, because what this means is when you are now federally recognized and operating as a woman-owned business seen by the nation, what that opens to you is bigger grant opportunities, like bigger dollar amounts, but also it's going to take some of the hustle out of your hustle. Because when you're able to get these grant funds, usually these contracts are 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, 3 years. And now one client could now cover all of your income needs and cover all of your expenses if you get just one of these grants, or one of these wonderful things from the federal level.
Wow, that's amazing. So this isn't only for startup companies. This is also for companies that are scaling and growing. And I mean, you don't have to be just starting out to get this. So are there particular grants for those that are starting out versus those that are trying to strive to that $1 million in revenue?
Yes. So what I really want to encourage is, if we have any women entrepreneurs out there who have a product or a widget or an IT, especially if there's something IT right now, anything within that science, technology, engineering, mathematics, that sort of STEM level, they are looking for grants for women-owned businesses to give them money to put into the economy to create that next product, that next widget, that next whatever, that next app that's going to revolutionize the world or make our lives easier or better or help us in some different way. So I love the fact that if you are a startup and you've got this on your horizon, come see me, because there's grants out there just for you. There's grants for startups if you are in the healthcare industry. If you, for example, if you were in the service-based industry and Corona came and took away your visibility and your viability, which is people coming in, right? So now there's grants for you maybe to get some more education, continue education while you're waiting for your business to fully open back up. There's grants to help you because, you know, when you're in business and you're in the flow of things, to get your continuing education, to get your other things, now you have to take time out of business to do these things. But right now, they can give you the money to go ahead and get this education, this training. So you're sort of ahead of the game.
Wow.
There's money for venues that are actors and actor studios and talent agencies and things like that. There's grants for that. There's grants if you're starting new into a service-based business. Let's say if you do coaching or an exchange of service or something like in sort of the bookkeeping or the accounting or the stuff like that, right?
Right.
So in certain levels, they go as low as county level and city level to help you get some viability back to your business and get those funds so that you're able to stay within the community and make money in the community and really build up a local presence. They really want that. They want you to build a local presence. So they're helping you with this funding.
That's fantastic. So it sounds like that there's so many opportunities. If you've got a specialty, there are even more opportunities. If you're an everyday person, there are still opportunities. And describe again the difference between a grant and a loan. Just because we'll keep it real simple. What's a grant versus a loan?
Okay, so with a grant, it is money that is specifically designated, oftentimes for certain use, designated use. So you could say, I just want this for marketing, for branding, for operations, equipment, staffing, whatever. Usually I can get it specific for that specific use and utilized correctly. That money is usually tax-free.
Nice. Do I have to pay it back?
No, you don't have to pay it back. Now with loans,
not only would I not have to pay it off or pay it back, but it could be tax-free. That's
right.
Wow.
That's right. Not always, but it could be.
Could be.
Now with loans, you do have to use your credit or use your business credit to get that pulled. You do have to go to a bank or a credit union and get that financed, and either they use collateral against the business or you have a low enough loan amount that there's no collateral actually
like just your
needed.
Signature in your credit.
Yeah.
And then that you have to pay back.
And that you do have to pay back. And oftentimes there are loans that I can find for you that do turn into free money grants if utilized correctly. So again, it's all about what exactly you specifically need for your business is what I'm looking for and how I help you utilize it. Because I don't just walk away. When I start working with you, it's because it's specific to what you need right now. And as you win the grants and you win the money and you get that one thing checked off your list, now we work on the next thing on your list and work on the next thing off your list so that you continue.
My list is kind of long these days. So, you know, I mean, and there's so many business owners that are feeling like their list is really long these days because of the environment that we're in. That's why this is such a fantastic conversation at the right time in our lives. is it difficult to get a grant? I mean, like, what do you have to provide?
Again, so it's depending on what you're looking for, what the money is going to be used for.
Mhm.
But oftentimes there's grants for as little as $500, and they just give it to you and deposit it into your account based on whatever you've requested, right? Because they're trying to keep small business owners in business. And so even the lowest amounts do help. But the getting the grant part is sort of difficult a little bit because you're vying for that grant with so many other people at the same time, right? So right now we know that our nation is struggling a little bit in our small business areas. And so you would be competing against a lot of other people, but it's not impossible. And I know this because I myself have won a few grants, and also my clients have won grants to the tune of $25,000, $50,000 on up. You know, and I've won $2,500, $5,000, $10,000 grants. And so it's not impossible, but based on what you're looking for and what you need, you can have those grants out there. So it is possible.
Love it, love it, love it. So when we're talking about getting this kind of money, so when we're looking at our business, what kind of preparation should we do as business owners to make sure that we're a better candidate? Because I know it's kind of like loans. Loans, you have to make, okay, I need my bank statements, I need my tax returns. I probably need a business plan to show what I'm going to use that money for and how my business is structured. You know, so you need things like that. Do you need that for a grant?
Now, again, this is dependent on what the grant is specifically requesting of you or viable to your business, available to your business. So for example, I always ask for my clients to make sure if you have a business checking account, this is optimal. Because as a gig worker or a contracted worker, usually you go by your own name, but you don't have an EIN or anything set up for the business. I would say to be a better candidate, it is best if you are a registered EIN with the IRS.
And it can still be registered under your own name. I mean, you know,
you can.
So
still under your
just
own
a
name.
separate tax number is
correct.
what an EIN is.
That is
okay.
Correct. So yes, getting that separate tax ID number, and then to get a business account that actually has checks under that business name. So if it's under your name, just make sure it's the business name that's shown on that check. And that's because what they really don't want to do is fund somebody's personal
sure
lifestyle. They want to make sure that it's going to a viable business.
But nobody uses checks anymore. so do I still need checks, or I just need to make sure the business name is in, so it's Marcia Reiner Consulting as an example, or Marcia Reiner accounting or bookkeeping or something. Even if it's my own name, it just has to have sort of a business entity kind of to it, right?
Yeah. So as let's say, so let me explain it this way. So if you are a gig worker, a contractor, or a sole proprietor, a single member LLC, if you just use your social security number and you have a bank account associated with that, that's fine. You're going to be okay. But if you have a designated tax ID and if you have a business banking account for that business, that takes you to another level of grants and grant monies that you can receive. It's a higher level that you can receive. And then the next step is being able to offer them your tax returns for the last year or the last 2 years. That then steps you, that steps you into the next level. So if you are sole proprietor, you're going to have your complete return, but your Schedule C will be within that. And that's what they're looking for. Nice. So yeah, and I walk you through that whole process. So it's nothing where you have to be anxious about, getting on the phone. Like I have to be prepared to talk to staff. That's not what needs to happen.
Yeah, well, when it comes to your business finances, I mean, so many people get stressed out and they're like, or they're like very protective. I don't want to show it because it doesn't look as good as I'm pretending it does, or right, or my books aren't clean. So I've been, sharing and taking personal stuff and business stuff, and they just kind of crisscross. But that doesn't matter, right? I mean, we can make it better going forward. And I think that the world knows that's going to happen. But, I think you keep using the word viable business. I think the viability of the business and showing that is proving that you've got clean books. So
that's correct. And that's why I do the progression, is because I know that these last couple of years have been tough on a lot of people, and they had to pull from their savings and their personal accounts to actually keep their business afloat. No one's ignorant of that fact. That's the reality. So in order to help you get to the point where you can now separate your personal from your business is why I work with you to get you those grants and build up some funds that you can use just for your business, that you can use just to pay yourself. You would not believe how many small business owners do not pay themselves. The number is crazy.
I do believe that, and I've seen it often. Even we're talking, a couple $100,000, in income a year for a business. I mean, the owner's still not paying themselves. Now, that doesn't mean their cell phone and the car isn't paid for. And, there's other expenses. We call that a lifestyle business, that run their stuff through the business. But when it comes to actually getting paid a W-2 or a honest pay, owner's pay, very, very few micro-sized businesses, you're right, do that. And my big aha about it is over the last year with all these PPP loans, that for those of us that had a lifestyle business that we really didn't write ourselves a check, we just paid expenses through the company, we didn't qualify for PPP because I didn't have the paycheck to prove.
You didn't have the documentation. Because, I mean, if you had me review your books and we sort of pulled out everything that you, like when you paid your utility bill and when you paid, like if we pulled all of that stuff out and then we could map it backwards, we could say, this is what you paid yourself.
Right.
But unless you had someone who was sitting there over your shoulder, sort of helping you or talking you through it and saying, okay, Marcia, this is what you need to do, so that now you can say, this is what I did pay myself. You don't have any proof of that, and you would not, again, be eligible for any of those opportunities. So that's what I think really sparked this in me, is the fact that I realized it's something that I know how to do and I'm capable of doing. And a lot of people don't know how to do it, nor do they have the time, right? So I really want to be that person that's in your corner, giving you back the time and giving you a little money too.
That's what we all want. And that is such a valid point when it comes to the small business owner, the entrepreneur. They're spending, and I've said this so many times, but they're spending their entire day thinking about work, chasing clients, putting out fires, delivering the deliverables. They're wearing all 8 hats that they have to wear as a business owner. And they never really have the time to add one more thing to their plate or platter or buffet, as I like to say, because we have so much things and there's only 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And if you have any kind of family, they're already chirping at you that you're not home at night, you're not home on the weekends, you're not listening to them when they're talking because you're thinking about your business. So this is just one more thing I think that frees up time for you and can give you that breathing room. So maybe you can spend a little time with the spouse and family and, what's a weekend, right? I mean,
right. Yeah, and I think it's important to understand that I really do want you to have time back for yourself. And this whole thing is very stressful. And I know people are just like, oh, one of the questions that I'm always asked is, what's usually the turnaround time? When do the grants usually pay out? So this is important because it's not up to me. If it was up to me, I would pay you out tomorrow. I'd be like, girl, you're good. In the bank of Stephanie, let's just write you a check. I know you're good for it. You show me that you're using this in business, I'll call it a good wash. End of the year, we'll wash it. Right? I would love to do that for you. That's going to be my goal right there, right? I'm putting that out there in the wind. But for right now, let's say, for example, there's several good grants that I can find for you today. Let's say I put those in for you today. Now, usually because, let's see, today is the tail end of the month, it's going to give you the last few days of the month for anything for this month, right? And so that puts you into about next month around the 15th or the 20th that they will be reaching back out to say if you were a recipient of the gift. Then you've got around 3 to 5 days to turn around whatever documentation they've requested to just make sure, like I said, to make sure you are a business. You are the actual owner of the business. You have a banking account or checking account that you have direct access to get the funds, and they just want to make sure that you've had a tax return. And if it's a new business for you and there's no tax returns, they just want to make sure that you've got your documentation to show that you are on record as a business, either with your state or with the IRS.
Okay.
So that's what happens. So it's at least, I tell people there's at least a 30 to 45 day gap from writing the grant and applying before they even notify you if you're a recipient. Now, here's the crazy part. Sometimes what happens is they'll notify you're the recipient and they'll say, send me this information. So you send the information right away. So if you utilize that turnaround time, like I said, it's usually 3 to 5 days that they give you. If you maximize that and turned everything around within that 24 hours, as soon as they verify that, they either just put the funds right into your account, or they'll send you just a single line email that says you have been awarded these funds, they're in your account. That's it. There's nothing grand or fabulous about it.
Yes.
Right?
I know, right?
Sometimes they do get a little grand and fabulous, and what they do tell you is they say, what we really like to do is, can we capture this on video? We'd like to have this on video because we really liked your business idea. We really liked what you're about. And we want to get some of this footage to share with the world. So that's a beautiful thing too.
Love it. So, okay. So one other thing, you mentioned that there's about a month in line. What if you don't get the grant? So I applied in California here. They had an opportunity where you could get a grant, and now in each month I get an announcement saying you didn't get awarded in round 1. Your application's rolling forward to round 6, and I'm like, geez, I'm never going to get this kind of money. But it's there are opportunities, right, to keep if you miss this one, or there's no limit to the grants that you can apply for, right?
The beauty is, I really do try to get my clients enrolled into the round 1, round 2, the grants that keep on giving, right? The ones that keep you in the coffers, right? So I want to start out by getting you in those ones that just keep rolling and rolling, because you got to win sometime.
Right? Gotta keep playing the lottery, right?
Gotta keep playing. But not only that, with the other grants, so even though they don't roll, for example, once you enter into them, if you are not a recipient, then you have to do it again, then you have to do it again. Even if you do have to do it again, what they do see is your persistence. And if they keep seeing, oh, well, this Marcia, she's really sincere about how she wants to help and how she wants to reach back out and how this money will save her company or her business, right? That also gives you grant brownie points. So I like that. And it's one of those situations where once you win some money from a certain grant, that's fine. You're not eligible to win more, but a couple of them you are.
Oh.
A couple of them, if you win the first round, they'll say, oh, okay, well, that's $10,000 there. But based on how you utilize the money over these they give you like 3 months or 6 months, they'll tell you you're eligible to win more money in December.
Wow.
Right? So you're like,
this is great. I think this is the I don't think business owners know about this. I don't think they know that there's an opportunity. They don't have to be a specific individual, like there's only one of you in the whole world to get this, but it's available for all small business owners, whether you're an attorney, an accountant, a packing company, a plumber, an electrician. everybody is able to get this kind of money, right?
That is correct. And it's all about being able to write a clean application and a clean grant. Because what they don't want to see is if they tell you, for example, some of the cheats. If they tell you, for example, we want a video that's, 30 seconds or 60 seconds or whatever their deadline is, their window for that video. And let's say they wanted a 60-second video and you gave them a 62-second video.
Wow.
I'm sorry, they don't even listen to it. They don't look at it. They don't listen to it because you didn't follow the rules. It's very serious. So that's why I say, if you don't know what you're doing, please reach out. Please ask for help, because it will be a waste of your time if you poured your heart into this video, your soul into this video, and it was just 2 to 3 seconds too long. They won't.
And lost an opportunity for an amazing amount of money.
Yeah.
So this is a good turning point. I'd like to, this is perfect for everybody right now to start looking for opportunities to keep your business afloat, take your business to the next level, to hire that new employee that you've been eyeing and stressing about that you're worried you can't afford. This is the perfect opportunity to do that. And now more than ever, it's so needed. There's so much money out there. So Steph, where can listeners find out more about you and this grants opportunities?
I say reach out to me, Stephanie at taxdaybaby.com, and just put in the subject line grants or free money. Grants or free money. I will find you and I'll reach back out and I'll give you some information on how you can work with me and how I can help you. And if you really want to be that person that maybe you don't need the grants. Let's say you don't need the grants, but you need help getting business credit and you want help to become federally recognized to get those contracts and get those grant numbers, please reach out, because I can help you at all of the stages and all of the levels. But particularly right now for grants, if this is something that you need to help your business stay afloat, to help you grow, to help you get to that next place, reach out to me, Stephanie at taxdaybaby.com, and just put in the subject line, grant
or free money. Love it. Love it. And this will be all on the notes for the podcast. So listeners, you'll have all the information there. So Stephanie, this is amazing. And by the way, you can work with anybody, right? It doesn't matter where you're not location specific.
That's correct. So whether you're here in the US, in any of the 50 contiguous states, or if you're in Canada, the UK, Australia, you name it.
Get it, girl.
I'm finding international grants, because some of the grants that we have available are looking for businesses to expand and branch out globally. So they're looking for a global presence and footprint. So if you're smaller now, but what you have is something that can be grown, gosh, please reach out, because the money gets into a higher level and higher buckets when they want you to affect change on an international level.
That's fantastic. All right. Wow. Well, you know what? I'm going to throw my name into the can, because, everybody, I do pretty good, but it's always an opportunity to say, hey, what if I wanted to invest it back in my business, and the opportunity is there. So we're all small businesses and we can all use a little bit of help. So thank you, Stephanie. This has been awesome. I really, so pointed and so timely, and it's not just now, it goes on forever, that there's always grants available, right?
That is correct. And you want to be able to reach out to me and get the help you need now, so that you're not in a pinch and you're not in a position where, because though we can go the road of loans and you can get those turned around pretty quickly, we could find an investor or get you some other capital. Don't wait. Don't wait.
I agree.
Now's the time.
I agree. It is. Now's the best time to do it. Even if now is next month, now's the best time. So awesome. All right, listeners, I hope you have found an idea or two to put into your business to help you become more profitable. And again, considering not going along on this storyline, considering what's happened to businesses over the past year, it's now more than ever is it important for you to create your own profit plan so that you too can have a thriving business. To help my listeners further, I put together 6 really important tips that will help you improve your profitability right now. And one of those tips, I'm going to change up and I'm going to say, reach out to Stephanie because this is awesome. So you can go pick those up at my website at Trajectory, TRAJECTORY, biz.com. And that's trajectorybiz.com. And as always, we would love to hear your questions, feedback, or even ideas for future shows. So please subscribe and comment on today's podcast. Stephanie and I will both be looking for it. And you can catch Profit with a Plan on any of your favorite podcast players. And we're looking forward to more great profitable information on next week's show. So until then, make your plans and profit with them. Thanks so much, Stephanie.